you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Hey there, Splinterlands fans. It is a brand new year, which means we have a brand new Splinterlands roadmap for 2023. You can see that here behind me. Or I'll actually take myself off the screen so you can see the validator section down there below. But this is not a video to cover the entire roadmap. This is actually a video to talk about one single aspect of the roadmap that has Splinterlands fans fuming, or at least a percent of them. And that is this ranked battles in Q2 2023, the first gray box in Q2 2023, and that says replace CP requirement with SPS staking. So there are a significant number of people on social media who are upset about this because they already have their CP and they feel like SPS staking as a league gate is just a way to essentially a way to get more money in order for them to have to get those same rewards. And it is a way to artificially drive up the value of SPS. So the intention of this video is to tell you why those people are wrong. Okay, it's just an opinion. There's not a right or wrong answer, but I am going to explain why I strongly disagree with those. And I think that opinion is largely a result of players not really understanding what this is. And I think if my goal of this video is to kind of break this all down, explain what's really happening here, and hopefully some of you will agree that this is actually going to be a better thing for the game. So let's start with explaining what CP is, what collection power is, what it was intended to do, why it's not achieving that intended goal anymore, and why SPS staking on players as a league gate can actually be a much more effective means of kind of gating the leagues, of distributing players within these leagues, and hopefully how this will work out. So let's get the roadmap off the screen here. Let's go. Why don't we first talk about CP, collection power? For those who are not sure what that is, we'll go through this very quick. Collection power is this power on the right hand side of a card. So this card right here shows a random card. If you see bottom, 1 BCX has 5 power. That's actually the amount of DEC that you would get if you burn the card. But it also contributes to your collection power score. And when you max out a card, like we see up top, it is the combination of all of the cards that you've combined, so 400 cards, and then you get an extra 5% power if it's maxed out. So for any card that's not maxed out, it's just adding up all of the power of those combined cards. And this is intended to represent kind of the strength of your deck. And if we come over here to the leagues, you will see that each league has a gate. So we're in modern leagues right now. Like if we start out at bronze, you don't need any, there's no power gate for getting into bronze 3. But as we get to bronze 2, you now need 500 power in order to advance that league. And as we climb up, you need 20,000 for silver 2, 75,000 for gold 2. It goes all the way up to champion here, where you need 250,000 power in order to break into that league. So you also have to have the cards to advance up to that league. You have to win your way up there. But even if you're winning the battles, if you don't have the power, you can actually not get into that league. So this was put in place because people weren't making the necessary investment in order to get to those leagues, to get the rewards for those leagues. This is a game where those rewards have real value. It is important to make sure that those rewards are gated behind a proper investment. If you can get those rewards without making a significant investment that relative to that reward strength, then you'll have lots of people that essentially just farm those for the rewards, for the monetary gain of those rewards, and then sell them all off. As people sell those all off, the value will come down until it's essentially a reasonable return. So it is very important. I know people don't like it when I say this, but it is essential for reward value in this game to make sure that those rewards are gated behind a significant investment for those rewards. So that's why collection power is actually put in place, so that you couldn't just take, this was before my time, but I heard there were literally like starter cards getting into Diamond and Champion League. So they put this into place to make sure you had to make an investment in cards. The problem that we've run into is that it's just not holding up. It's too easy to get collection power. Collection power has become too cheap. If we come over here to like peak monsters, for example, this is sorted by price, cost above burn. So the amount of DEC you have to spend relative to the burn value, and some of these reward cards are extremely cheap. 1.08, it's only 8% above burn value, which I think these are tremendous deals, by the way, with DEC so low, but that's a whole separate video. Hopefully I'll do that one soon. But basically it's very, very cheap. If we come over here to this screen over here to champion, 250, you need 250,000 power. So basically 8% above that in DEC. At current DEC prices, you only need to spend about $160-ish dollars to get enough collection power to reach champion 3. That is nothing. You need much more than $160 worth of cards in order to advance. If we come to my own season summary, like this, I'm playing in champion right now. This was my this was champion modern here, $158. Wow, this was the last time I manually played on my account in Modern League. That was the value of my rewards for the season. $158, like a $160 gate in order to earn $157. Seasons about, there's 2 seasons a month, so $300 a month, $320 a month. That's just not, that's not a good, it's not an appropriate gate. It's simply not. Collection power has become so cheap that it's simply not a good gate, and because of that, we are seeing too much rating inflation. Now, a lot of people say, yeah, but even if you don't have that collection power as a gate, it doesn't really matter because you still have to have the cards. So there's still the gate of having the cards. But the problem is we have so much rating inflation that is not an adequate gate. If you look at one of my other accounts, my Dart Squirrel account that we've used before, this is from that same season. This was the last time it was run. This is 2 seasons ago, by the way. Last season, this was involved in the Nifty Arcade Bot versus Human Challenge, which was pretty cool. You can go check out the results of that, but this was the last time it played. This has bronze level cards, bronze level chaos cards, a few untamed cards, no dice, no riff watchers. Playing in modern, it hits diamond. It hits diamond every season, and it plays mostly in gold, but it hits diamond. You simply don't. You can get to diamond with bronze league cards. So like diamond is not adequately gated by card strength. This deck, if you go look, you can go look. It's got mostly the same cards. I've added a few cards since then, but not much. You can go look at the Dart Squirrel account and see what's there. This account has no business playing in diamond. It simply doesn't. And when you have bronze level cards that can get into diamond, it just devalues the rewards that are in diamond. So I know I'm going about this kind of long-winded, but the point is that we don't currently have an adequate gate for the leagues. And what was put in place for that, this collection power, is simply not doing its job, okay? And I think a lot of people would agree with that. Like, I don't think that's a controversial take whatsoever, okay? There's been a lot of suggestions for how to improve this, whether it's, again, right now, you don't need unique cards. So people have suggested, okay, you can't just buy the same Venari Seedsmith over and over again and have a bunch of maxed out Seedsmiths in order to get the collection power to get into the league. There's been a bunch of different changes. I personally proposed a change of having Splinterlands run bots that actually keep the same rating, and they have their own bots. So you okay, you put these at the edge of silver, for example, and whatever you think is an adequate combination of deck of cards and skill to get into silver, you set some bots there and let those bots kind of be gatekeepers, and you set them at all different ratings across the game. So if somebody climbs too high and they don't have the cards and the skill necessary to really be in what's appropriate for that league, those bots just smack them back down. So there's been a bunch of different suggestions on what could be done to fix that. But what Splinterlands wants to do is basically sunset collection power and replace it with staked SPS. And this all comes with SPS staking on players, okay? And if we kind of go back to the roadmap here, so the reason this they've wanted to do this for a long time. SPS staking on players is a huge thing that I've done a separate video on. I've done multiple videos on saying how player staking is going to be revolutionary, and that I think a lot of games are actually going to end up copying this system, whether it's Web 3, Web 2. I think this is going to be a common thing in gaming down the line. There's so many cool things about it. But we need, one thing that we need is, I took myself off the screen, this SPS validators. We need SPS delegation before we can put this into place, so that you can stake on players, so that people can go rent SPS, whatever the case is. That has to be here. So that's why this has all kind of gotten delayed. This was supposed to be here a long time ago, but we haven't had that yet. So that's why it's not here yet. But this this SPS staking requirement in place of collection power will come along with that. And I think one of the biggest things people don't understand is you don't have to buy SPS yourself and stake SPS yourself in order to get into your leagues. Okay? First off, you'll be able to rent it, but that's not even what I'm talking about here. Other people will be able to stake SPS on you. And there is not going to be, if we go like right now, when you stake SPS, if we come back here and go to the SPS screen, you just earn this flat APY. So, or right here it is. This APR here, 24%. If you stake SPS, that's the return that you're getting. When player staking is here, or at least the original intention. Now all of this is subject to change. I don't know. Maybe internally things have changed. I can't guarantee this is what things are going to look like. But the plan from the beginning has been that there will be no more passive staking. You stake your SPS on the players, and then you get your rewards based on how that player performs. So when you play your ranked battles, you don't just earn rewards for yourself. You also earn the pool that currently goes to this SPS staked rewards. You will earn from that pool for those who have staked SPS on you. Okay, so if you have the SPS yourself, you can certainly stake it on yourself and get your rewards there. It gets divided amongst the people who have the amount of SPS that is staked on you, essentially. So the more SPS that is staked on a single person, the less the return per SPS staked. So essentially what this is going to work out to is that the better the player, the more SPS they will have staked on them. And then as there's more SPS staked on that player, eventually hits a point where the ROI is just not that good. So it's not going to be, okay, everybody stakes on the best player in the game because they're earning the most rewards. Because if everybody stakes there, they all split those rewards and they don't gain as much. So I guarantee you, when this comes, we are going to have third-party sites who show, okay, these are the players that currently have the highest ROI to stake on. Or there's probably even going to be automated systems where they'll control your delegation for you and stake on whoever the best players are. So the point is that I strongly believe that staked SPS is going to find players even if they have no SPS themselves. I don't think you will have to buy SPS to stake on you in order to get this staked SPS on you to move up the leagues. So the better you perform, the more rewards you are getting, the more SPS, the more staked SPS, the more SPS will be staked on you, will find you. And I don't think people are gonna have to go out and like recruit like a campaign to get SPS staked on them or anything like that. I think third parties will help this. So if you're outperforming where the amount of SPS that is staked on you, you'll show up on these boards and people will start staking SPS on you so they can get better returns for themselves. The market will drive this. And this is why I love this I actually love it as a league gate. I'd still like to see the bots in there, but I love this as a league gate because I believe there will be a direct correlation between the amount of SPS the market is staking on players and how they are performing. Okay? So that makes it a great league gate because if you don't have X amount of SPS staked on you to move up to your league, that means you aren't performing well enough to attract that staked SPS. Okay? And if you want, you can always just buy the SPS yourself and stake it on yourself and make that investment yourself, or rent the SPS and stake it on yourself and then climb up. So there always is that option, but I don't think people are going to have to buy that SPS. I think this is actually really cool and really, it's going to be very friendly for those who are simply good at the game and can progress, because a lot of people have even complained before, like, oh, okay, if I'm good enough to play in this league, even if I don't have the collection power or I don't have the cards or whatever, I shouldn't be gated that. If I'm skilled enough, I should be able to climb up. And this can make it that way. But there's a limited amount of SPS, right? So you can't just have rating inflation, insane amounts of rating inflation where you have tons of low league cards climbing up, because there's not enough SPS to dedicate to all of these bot farms to allow them all to climb together and that type of thing. So you can kind of control that based on the amount of SPS out there, based on the amount of SPS we're seeing staked on players. The game can adjust that and set those levels, or the community can adjust that and set those levels however they see fit. But my point is that there will be a direct correlation between the amount of SPS that is staked on a player and the amount of rewards that they are getting. Now, I will say that one thing, this will potentially hurt the casual player who doesn't play every day. They might be good enough to climb up in their league, but they're not gaining enough rewards because they only play every third day. Okay, so people don't want to stake on them because they're not getting as much rewards. So those type of players might be good enough to play in a league, but they're not finding that SPS staked on them. They would have to go out and buy that themselves, and yes, that would be an extra expense. So that is one negative I see here, is that it can kind of hurt that casual player. But for those that are playing every day, or at least playing enough that they've got enough capture rate, or that they're using up their ECR, then I feel like this is not, I think it's a myth that will require an extra investment for players in order to climb up the leagues, because I fully believe that players will find that SPS staked on them if they are good enough to climb up and get into that league. So that's kind of why I disagree. That's why I think it's actually a cool setup. It is a better league gate than the collection power that we currently have, or even some of the modified collection power requirements. And I think this will actually work pretty well. And I don't know if it will really solve all of rating inflation. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough on its own, but I think it's going to be great, because I love the player the staked SPS on players in general. I love that whole concept. You are going to need SPS staked on you to even earn your rewards at all. So I think it's really cool, and I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be much better than what we have, and I think when we have players staking, this is what's going to really bring value to SPS, when that's needed to gain rewards. And I think we'll finally stop seeing. I've been saying forever that I'm bullish on SPS. I love it. It's like, okay, as soon as player staking gets here, as soon as the utility gets here, SPS value is going to take off. And what I've been wrong on is the timeline. Like, I thought this was going to be here a year ago. So that's kind of been my big miss in terms of like investing in SPS and that type of thing, is the time frame for everything. But everything that I felt even a year ago, I still really believe in this system and excited about this system. I'm just, like a lot of people, frustrated at how long it's taken to get here. But I still think this whole economy, this whole setup, once all these features are here and everything is finally working as originally designed, is going to be really, really nice. And hopefully this is the year. 2023 is the year for Splinterlands. Hopefully we finally start to see all these things. Player staking, land, the tower defense, all these other things coming. A lot of new guild features, a lot of new economy additions. You can see a lot of these things behind me. So I think it's going to be really cool, and I'm super excited. So I believe in Splinterlands. I think this stuff is finally going to come, and I cannot wait. So let me know your thoughts. Did I change anybody's mind with the SPS staking requirements as a league gate? Did I help anybody better understand, at least, even if you still disagree with me, okay? And again, it's all just opinions on what we think will or won't work. This is stuff that's never been done before, so it's not like we can point to it and say, yeah, when these games did it, it worked a lot better. This is all kind of in theory, so I love it all in theory. Even if you don't agree with me, I hope a lot of you at least understand it better and understand the angle that Splinterlands is going at here, and how it's not just go spend more money, go buy more SPS and that type of thing, because I really don't think that's going to be the case. So anyways, let me know your thoughts below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. Come check me out on my live streams as well. We are having a blast. I will see you there.